If you're like me, for whatever reason, you probably have a hotel brand in your mind that sticks out a little bit more above the rest. For me, that's been Marriott, and I've highlighted that on this channel and also rated the Marriott lineup of credit cards quite highly. However, I may have made a big mistake. I'll be the first to admit that I might have gotten sucked into the Marriott bias and actually ignored the Hilton lineup of credit cards and the potential value packed inside. After doing a deep dive into the lineup of Hilton cards, they now have my full attention. And in this video, I'm going to break down each of the three Hilton personal cards, show you what I'm seeing and where the value sweet spots may lie. Alright, so by the end of this video, I want you to be an expert on what the Hilton credit card lineup has to offer. In about the next 10 minutes, you should be able to do that because for each card, I'll give you the breakdown, the strengths, weaknesses, and the things you need to know if you want to potentially add it to your wallet. Also, as a little bonus, I'll share with you my favorite out of the three and the strategy I would use to actually make this card work for me in real life. However, before we dive in, there's an elephant in the room we need to talk about. And that's the value of the Hilton Honors point. There are two things to know, and the first is not going to surprise you whatsoever. Hilton Honors points, they're a little different than a typical credit card point. A typical general credit card point you can use, and it's really versatile. You could take a Chase Ultimate Reward point and use it to book Hilton properties within Chase's portal, but you could also take that same point and use it to, say, book Delta Airlines or United Airlines flights within Chase's own travel system. For Hilton Honors points, essentially you're locked into that hotel's currency. The second thing, and this is a real shocker for a lot of beginners, is the relatively low value of a Hilton Honors point. Whereas one of those transferable currencies, say an Ultimate Rewards point at Chase, is pegged to a value of at least 1 cent each, Hilton points are worth about half of that. Now, hotel chains as a whole have slipped into this trend. A lot of hotel currency is really poorly valued. However, Hilton may be one of the worst offenders. Keep this in mind, however, I don't want this to scare you away. While the value of a Hilton Honors point is quite low, you'll be able to see quite quickly that it's easy to accumulate a lot of them and very fast. So it kind of balances itself out. Let's start on the ground floor with the standard Hilton Honors card. This is a $0 annual fee credit card, and it comes with a sign-up bonus ranging between 80 and 100,000 points traditionally. The card earns a flat 7x back on hotels and resorts made directly within the Hilton portfolio. It gets you 5x back on dining, 5x back on groceries and gas, and 3x points back for each dollar you spend on any other non-category purchase. Now let's zoom in on what you really get when using this card to book Hilton Honors stays. The card says 7x back. However, that's not the end of the story. Because this card also comes with silver status, something I'll fill you in just a second, you also get an additional 20% boost on a typical Hilton Honors member rate. When you have standard Hilton Honors membership, which is essentially just signing up with an email for their account, you get 10x points per dollar on everything you spend at Hilton. Silver status gets you a 20% boost on that, so effectively 12x points back for being a Hilton Honors Silver member. And then on top of that, you get to place this 7x back that your Hilton Honors credit card gets you. All this in total means you're getting 19x points per dollar spent on Hilton properties when you book with this card. Now let's take a step back and level the playing field and put this in common terms. 19x points sounds like a lot. So does 5x on dining, groceries and gas, etc. However, when you value this to what a typical credit card point would be, again, evening things in your head, we'll use that 0.5 cent per point valuation, and you're effectively getting 9.5% back when you're booking at Hilton properties, 2.5% on dining, groceries, and gas, and 1.5% back on everything else. I call those numbers right-sized for the value you're getting, a return on spend figure, and I'll show you how the cards compare as we move through the lineup. Now, the main benefit this card comes with is Hilton Honors Silver status. This is technically one tier up from the bottom, but it's effectively the lowest level of status that you can hold at Hilton. Therefore, the benefits aren't much. You get a 5th night free on reward stays and late checkout. Now, the bottom line on this card, while 19x back on Hilton properties can seem really appealing, there are better benefits out there, whether you're an infrequent stayer at Hilton or whether you're a road warrior and you're going to be staying a ton of nights. Those cards and those better options I'll tell you about in the other two cards in the Hilton lineup. However, the one real advantage this card does have on the surface is that nice sign-up bonus range, which is certainly on the higher end for a $0 annual fee card, whether we're talking hotel, airline, or even just general credit cards. Let's move into the cards that are a little more serious. The Hilton Honor Surpass card. This card does carry an annual fee at $150 a year. However, it also offers a higher sign-up bonus ranging typically between 130 and 150,000 Hilton Honors points. The card earns 12x back on hotels and resorts, 6x on dining, groceries, gas, 4x on US online retail purchases, and 3x back on every other dollar you spend that's in a non-category purchase. The card comes with gold status, which includes a boosted earnings rate for your membership tier. You'll earn 18x points back per dollar spent for being a gold member, 12x Hilton Honors points back for holding the card, and that totals an impressive 30x Hilton Honors points per dollar you spend when booking at Hilton portfolio properties. Let's apply that same logic and convert all of this into a return on spend. That's 15% back on Hilton purchases, 3% back on dining, groceries, and gas, 2% back on online shopping, and a flat 1.5% back on everything else. Now, I mentioned the card comes with Hilton Gold status. This is a status where we start to see some real benefits. It's actually one of the most impressive aspects of this card, as the Hilton Gold status offers a much higher level of service for you than a comparable credit card at a different brand such as Marriott or IHG. With Hilton Gold status, you'll get late checkout, a chance at room upgrades, and a daily food and beverage credit, or the option for a free continental breakfast. This also includes up to 2 people if you've got 2 registered guests in your room. And again, that credit is daily. I want to double click on that benefit there because that is such a powerful benefit in terms of saving money, especially if you're putting in multiple nights throughout the year at a Hilton portfolio property. Just to compare how valuable this would be, if you were to try to get this at Marriott, you would need to get Platinum Elite status, and that's available only when getting the $650 Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. If we go over to IHG and see what it would take there, well, you could access that with the IHG One Rewards Premier card, a lower annual fee card. However, to trigger that conditional benefit, you'd have to put $40,000 of spend in a calendar year to get that. Now, the gold status isn't the only thing that comes on this Hilton Honor Surpass card. You'll get a $200 Hilton credit. That's divided quarterly, so it can be a bit annoying to use to get the full value. And unfortunately, as I record this video today, the fan favorite hack of buying a Hilton gift card each quarter has currently been nerfed out. The workaround for this, if you can't stay at a Hilton once per quarter to get full value, would be potentially to go to a restaurant or bar attached to a Hilton property. You'd have to test this, but if it's billed as a Hilton charge, data points show that the $50 credit could be applied, thus providing you potentially a free meal once per quarter and having the credit charged to your account. You also get a free night award when you spend $15,000 on this card. This is an uncapped award, which means you can use it to book any standard room within the Hilton portfolio. Again, a much more powerful benefit, as competitors' cards will cap the value that you can redeem a free night certificate at, usually for something ranging to a couple $100s, but Hilton really takes that cap off, and that can create some really fun memories if you want to target that benefit on this card. The card also comes with a few other smaller benefits. You get car rental status through National Emerald Club executive level, Hilton Honors Diamond status if you spend $40,000 on the card, and no foreign transaction fees. Now, one pro tip, which is a popular strategy that people like to use with the Surpass card, is to put all of their spend in the dining, groceries, and gas category on their Hilton Honor Surpass until they reach $15,000 in spend throughout the year. That would be enough to trigger that free night certificate, and with this only being an $150 card, and potentially the room that you could redeem that free night certificate for being multiple hundreds of dollars more than the cost to hold the card, well, there can be some great value there. Of course, now it's time to talk about the biggest card in the lineup, the Hilton Honors Aspire card. It comes with a $550 annual fee. It comes with a sign-up bonus ranging between 150 and 175,000 Hilton points. This card has big time earnings. It'll get you 14x back on hotels and resorts made directly with hotels and resorts in the Hilton portfolio. You'll get 7x back on select travel, 7x back on dining, and 3x points back on non-category purchases. Like I've done for the other cards, when you combine the automatic diamond status with spending on this credit card, you'll get 34x back points per each dollar you spend at Hilton properties. In terms of real life dollars and cents, that's effectively a 17% return on spend, 3.5% back on select travel and dining, and 1.5% back on everything else. Now, the benefits on this card are powerful. You'll get Hilton Honors Diamond status. That includes all of the benefits at the lower levels, with the key ones being late checkout, room upgrades at a higher chance of getting those depending on availability, the daily food and beverage credit, of course, and executive lounge access. You'll also get an automatic free night certificate just from holding the card. No spending required. However, if you put 30K on the card, you'll get a second free night certificate. And if you put 60K on the card, you'll get a third. This card comes with a $400 resort credit that's split into two $200 semi-annual credits. You'll get a $200 flight credit. This can be used on airfare tickets, and it can be on any airline, including bookings directly with that airline. A nice hack if you cannot use this credit for the quarter is to put $50 into United's Travel Bank, which is essentially a $50 gift card to be used later with United Airlines. You also get a Clear Plus credit, a $100 property credit viable at Waldorf Astoria or Conrad Hotels, car rental status through National Emerald Club executive status level, and again, no foreign transaction fees. Now, the bottom line on this card is that there are a number of ways to get value. However, I generally like to think that if you want to stay at a Hilton resort property, and you do that at least once a year to trigger a $200 credit, plan on using the entire airline credit for another $200 or $50 a quarter off of airline spend, and then start taking advantage of your free night award certificate in some sort of capacity, whether at a really nice property or even just for a standard stay. You're probably getting your money back and more. Finally, to cap that off, you'll be a Hilton Diamond member, and that has a bunch of benefits within that will just enhance the experience of your stays at Hilton properties. Now, I promised I'd share weaknesses, and there are two that stand out specifically to me. First, the conditional nature of the credits. Let's be honest, there are a lot of different credits on these cards, and you're going to have to keep track of what you've done and what you still have yet to accomplish in a calendar year to make sure you're getting the money back that you paid in, and hopefully even more than that annual fee cost. To simplify this, I've recently started using Max Rewards as my card management app, and something like Max Rewards would help you keep track of your credits to make sure you're getting the value out that you want from these cards. The second is, of course, the Hilton point value. We've covered this extensively, but essentially those insane earnings multipliers that you see in your different categories, well, as we talked about in the return on spend section with each card, those essentially cut those valuations in half compared to a typical credit card. It's not a deal breaker, but it would be nice if Hilton points were more valuable. Now, while the weaknesses are challenges that have to be overcome for any Hilton Honors cardholder, the strengths, in my opinion, do outweigh the weaknesses that are on the table. And it's these strengths that brought me back that really changed my mind about Hilton cards, because they're doing things that not a lot of other hotel brands are bringing to the table now. First of all, it's one of the few remaining families in terms of any credit card that as you climb the ladder for annual fees, the benefits return more and more. The second strength is that the earnings rates on these cards are surprisingly viable. While the points that you're earning aren't especially valuable, given the high earnings rates in really valuable categories, you can actually spend a fair amount on the Hilton cards, especially given that you're going to want to stay in Hilton properties if you're holding these cards or considering them in the first place, and be really happy with the results. And finally, undoubtedly the biggest strength is the uncapped free night award. As long as there's standard room availability on any Hilton property that you're looking at, you can use your free night certificate to book some insanely valuable redemptions. Now, what's my favorite card and how would I strategize around that? For me, out of these three, it's the Hilton Honors Aspire card. And it's simply because the combination of the sign-up bonus and versatility in the strategies that I could take depending on what my travel goals were. First, if you're able to lock down around an 175,000 point sign-up bonus, that's going to provide to you anywhere between $800 and $1,500 in Hilton Honor value. We already talked about the earnings rates, so I want to dive into how I'd play the free night certificate. Scenario one would be the typical redemption. Of course, I'm going to travel and stay in at least one hotel a year. Otherwise, please don't look at these cards. And I could probably conservatively get between $200 and $250 just staying at a generally nice Hilton property. That's already helping me eat considerably into that $550 annual fee. However, if I really want to get great value from this card, I think there's a play, especially in year one, that can create a huge experience at effectively a fraction of the cost. Here's how I'd break that experience redemption down. Let's say you wanted to take an aspirational trip and grab the family and go to Hawaii for New Year's. The Hilton Waikiola Village looks incredible and would normally cost you $754 a night in cash to stay for 4 nights from the 30th of December through January 3rd. Looks beautiful, but also crazy expensive, right? Well, first of all, you're going to take your Hilton Aspire and cash in your free night certificate. There's $754 in value instantly, more than making up for your annual fee that year. Second, you're down to now 3 nights you need to cover. Well, you've notched an 175,000 Hilton Honor Point sign-up bonus, effectively bringing you to 50,000 Hilton Honors points you have left to cover to make this redemption possible. Fortunately, remember you can get 7x back on your Hilton Honors Aspire in the categories of dining and travel, and by spending just over 7,000 just in those categories, you're going to be able to bring yourself up to the 50,000 Hilton Honors points you'd need to make that redemption happen. Now, of course, at the end of the day, you'll probably have flights to cover and other travel needs to make this trip a reality. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I have other videos in how to maximize and find the best possible ways to get over to Hawaii and get it done on credit card bonuses for a fraction of the cost or for completely free. However, flights aside, you're getting what would have been a $3,016 cash price hotel for 225,000 Hilton Honors points plus your free night certificate. Now, between a standard free night redemption on one side and this all-in strategy I laid out that could be possible on the other, I think there's a ton of versatility in here, and that's what makes the Aspire card so special. The key here at the end of the day is not to overextend. Plan trips that you know you can make, and don't spend great sums of money that you wouldn't have just because you have a credit card helping you out. The bottom line is, while this is certainly going to be good for someone, make sure they're good for you. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you hit the like button to spread it out to others, and subscribe to the channel if you like seeing ways to elevate your experiences through different credit card strategies.